All right, so man, it's getting a little bit late still. Again, I'm still recording, and kind of just going through these videos until I get a little bit tired. Still not that tired though, unfortunately. This is the second game that I ran with this particular sort of comp. Um, Unfortunately, the first game I have some kind of corrupted file, so I may or may not actually have that game uh, available. Which I'm gonna try and see if I can fix the replay file. It might just be some kind of weird thing where it's just the version numbers are wrong or something. Anyway, so the comp we ran, we decided Vlad Fiddles makes an interesting lane, so we ran with it in this game. Reason why Vlad Fiddles is pretty awesome is because they're sustain. They have a really good lane sustain. Obviously, if you haven't seen any of my videos where I play Vlad, I think there's some videos up where I play Vlad. Or if you haven't seen me, obviously, if you haven't seen me play Fiddles, they both have great heals. Vlad, obviously, his Q is an amazing heal, and his W can heal as well. Especially if he gets a Hextech reroll, it's he's pretty much perfect. As Fiddles, you've got his drain play. And that's really all you need is him, really. I mean, that's an amazing heal move. So we also have a Tarek, which ended up landing with our Tristana, and then Kennen mid. Against, I believe, Anivia mid, and we had Ashe Nunu bottom with Udyr jungling and Nasus solo top against us. So, in particular, there are a couple of really weird things that happen in this game. I make a couple of missteps. And you'll see some weird team missteps as well that sort of throw us off. But, I do record these because it's always good to see how a whole game shapes up and sort of the mistakes that you make and how you clean them up and etc. So here we see Vlad. He's got an Amp Tome, 1 health pot. And then, of course, me, I've just got the Dorn's Ring. There are a couple of different... I was actually going to get into some interesting discussions with both Vlad and Fiddles in regards to their item setups at start. Vlad, item setup-wise, Amp Tome, 1 health pot. Pretty standard on mid-range players because... it gives him a little bit of damage and a little bit of health in the beginning, and also the health pot for just being able to stay in lane in the event that he's got to try to get CS when he's getting pressed a little bit. It allows him to get some when guys are attempting to press him out of experience gain. The other option is, of course, the nice 3 health pots and boots, which allows Vlad a little bit of an easier time getting in and out. If you're really, really good at the micro play, you can kind of get in really easily, pull a Q shot as a harass move on a champion, come back in. That setup is a little bit better for a solo top lane. And I really was going to say Vlad's not the greatest duo laner in the world. He has some issues that make him not as useful. He's not going to carry super duper hard because of that in dual lane, but that's okay. Right now, we're looking at really having Vlad as another great AoE champ, basically, because we've got a really, really good setup going with 3 really solid AoE champs. We have Fiddles, Vlad, and Kennen. So I got a little bit aggressive there. I wasn't really thinking about how much damage the Ashe could actually do in the early. This Ashe was really crazy. She could have really pressed us super hard and tried to kill us out with the Nunu, because Nunu's got really good early game damage. That's the one thing about Nunu that's really tough, is in the early game, Nunu can put out a lot of damage in lane. However, as the game goes on, he really doesn't do that much after a while, unless you're really going to get into stacking AP with him. And even then, stacking AP on him is not as effective as on other casters, because his bases are pretty good. And his scaling isn't terrible. Scaling's pretty okay. But as the game goes on, though, he just doesn't really output as much damage, because he's only really got one really good damage move. I mean, his ult's great, but it's very easy to cut him out of his ult early, and you'll see that a lot in this game. Fiddles versus Nunu does not really work. There you see the nice first blood play by our Tristana. You see me draining the cannon minion. I'm sort of coordinating a little bit with our Vlad, calling the minions that I need to be draining basically to stay in to sustain and stay in lane. As Vlad gets his Q back, you know, fairly often, but it's definitely he'll have a much easier time healing than I will because I've got a channel for my heal. We do have to be cautious of that. Anyway, so I should mention this lane comp absolutely terrible if you actually want to get anything done against a range carry and what you would basically call a support in this lane. But you know, it's not too bad. I'm getting torn apart by the Ashe here a little bit, because she's just ripping through me too easily. Our cannon goes down to the Anivia. I do ask if he needs help, if anything's really seriously wrong. He just kind of made a misplay there. You always want to find out what's so one of the things I address in this game, you always want to find out what's going on with your team. Typically, I take the lead, only because I like to know exactly what's going on all the time, just